Gamers, at the time that you're watching this video, the new Triangle event has likely already started. As per usual, when there's a new event, we do a what should you play video. This is a series that I really like doing where a bunch of people from my Discord send me different lists and replays for decks that are going to be, you know, either broken or at least good enough to win and pretty cool to look at for the new event. So in this one in particular, obviously there's like so many to choose from because we have three very diverse categories with dark and water, light and earth, and fire and wind, obviously being locked out of other attributes for whichever deck you want to build. This is a pretty interesting setup because it makes it so a lot of like even the strongest decks in the game can be in this event, and they lose a lot of their power just because they'll lose different engines that they want to play. Like for just an easy example, like Azamina is mostly dark, right? So White Forest is light. You could play White Forest in the light and earth category, but you're probably better off playing it with Toy Box because you can't play the Azamina stuff, which is a pretty big deal. And there's a lot of different examples like that. You can't play Diabellstar and Snake Eyes as another example for fire and wind. So it makes for some interesting deck building. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you like multiple decks for each category. I'm also going to be showing you other deck ideas that I don't have a replay or a list for, but you know, just to let you know, like, because a lot of the best decks, it's kind of like, what's the point of showing it to you? Like, do I really need to show you that you can play Tier Limit and how to like play Tier Limit? Like, if you want to play Tier Limit, you're going to. You know, Blue Eyes is another example. It's like, I think you've seen it, you know what Blue Eyes does by now. Like, Blue Eyes is crushing it. I don't think you need a Blue Eyes replay. Now, really quick, let's just say what's the best loner deck for each of these. So, I mean, for fire and wind, I think this Salamangreat structure deck, while it's not like perfect, it's really solid. If you just want to play a loner deck in the fire category, I think just playing Salamangreat, you have pretty much everything that you need here. You should be doing just fine. It has a bunch of 3-ofs. It has good consistency. Could probably use a couple more staples, but it'll be fine. For light and earth, you have like pretty much all the options are okay. I think the absolute best one is going to be the Zodiac deck. Like, you know, doesn't have a ton of hand traps, but it does just have like really insane consistency by virtue of being Zodiac. And going second, you even have like a really solid staple like Alpha, which you don't really see in Master Duel, but this card is actually really good. So I think this probably is the best loner for the light and earth one. But you know, even though the build is pretty bad, you could give this one a shot. I don't really recommend playing this one. This build is just really bad. I feel like this deck already struggles enough as is. You want to have like a pretty solid build if you want to play unions. And Water and Dark, I think, has the best loners. I'm actually not sure which is better between this Shark loner, which has a good amount of starters, has, you know, Perulia, which is a really solid hand trap. Not a lot in terms of hand traps, so you're mostly going to want to go first. Keep in mind, this is a festival. You can just scoop. There's no punishment for scooping if you lose the coin flip. So, you know, if you're playing like a super going first dedicated deck like this, like you could definitely just scoop when you lose the coin flip. But it has pretty much everything you need to make like a solid board on turn one. So I would say, you know, Sharks are really good, but also like you can't sleep on Marine Cess. You also have pretty much everything you need. The ratios are a bit off here, but you still have pretty much everything you need to play Marine Cess, except for the Zealantis, which I feel like they should have put it in here, but still a solid pick. So overall, I'd say the Shark one might be the best loner deck, but also Zodiac is probably the one that's going to be the most popular just because it's so straightforward. Anyway, we've got a lot to get into. We're going to be looking at a bunch of staples and a bunch of decks. But before we get into that, this video is sponsored by Raycon. So lately I've been using these Raycon everyday earbuds, and honestly they've been pretty fire. You know, for a really fair price, you're getting all the most expensive features. The color I picked was like forest green, and I also paired it with like a really sick concrete color. I think the mix is pretty fire. I think I have pretty good taste. You know, I think I styled it pretty well. They also have a lanyard, which is very Y2K. You know, you can see my cat fighting with it right here. When it comes to my favorite thing about them, well, there's like two things. I really like how they sound, for one, like especially considering how well priced they are. And another thing I really like is like you can change to active noise canceling just by like putting your finger here for like a second. So, you know, you're not bothered by someone like mowing the lawn next door or something like that. Or also you can press it again and it's going to put it in awareness mode where it's like the opposite. Now you can hear around you better. So if you're like walking and you want to make sure you're able to hear a car while still enjoying high quality music. I mean, I really like this feature. These things also have like crazy batteries, right? Like this thing, it lasts over 30 hours. And also if you charge it for like 10 minutes, it'll last over an hour. So if you're looking for some high quality earbuds that actually keep up with you and will leave you some extra change to, I don't know, build the next best meta deck, then I do highly recommend the Raycons. Right now they have a Mother's Day sale going on. So while that sale is happening, you can get some for 20% off using my link in the description. So make sure to use my link in the description, or you can go to buyraycon.com/mdcentral and you can save 20% site-wide during their Mother's Day sale. Anyway, thanks again to Raycon for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. All right, so starting off with super quick deck ideas for Light and Earth without showing lists and replays here. Of course, like I said, Blue Eyes is going to be amazing for this event. All they've got limited really is they have their level 9 Synchro Spirit limited, Wishes is limited, and Maiden is limited, but I still think this deck is going to be great. You can just run more Neo Kaisers to make sure to have access to more one-card combos, and you don't get the Crimson setup, but you can still play the very, very solid mid-rangey setup. You still have access to Primite, so Blue Eyes I think is probably going to be the most popular deck in the light category, and it's really, really strong. There's also like a Drytron is pretty much fully available. Magical Musketeer, you have a small Fiendsmith package, Engravers at 1, but I think that's still going to be playable. If you have Toy Box, you could play it with White Forest. White Forest is pretty much full power, other than it's like losing out on Azamina, so you know you can bolster it with the Toy Engine. Madolche, of course, is really solid for Earths. Trap Tricks, if you want to play Trap Tricks, it's available, and Melodious is full power as well. As for important staples, so you've actually got a good amount of staples that you can play for Light and Earth. So you've got Ghost Bell, which is really good. Nibiru, of course, is awesome. You've got Effect Veiler. We have Forbidden Droplet. Evenly matched Forbidden Droplet and Imperm are going to be available for all 3 categories. So these are nice, like solid, basic staple packages. And Dominus Purge, of course, is only really playable in this category, and it's a really, really strong card. So if you have it, definitely worth running. And as for an extra deck staple monster, we have Zeus. So yeah, pretty solid lineup for this category. As for Dark and Water, not as generous on the hand trap side. For interesting decks, I mean, there's Ice Barrier if you have that. Tearlament is going to be really good. They have Rhino Heart at 1, but you can replace it with that other level 4 that basically is Rhino Heart. They have access to Sharks, of course, but we already saw that in the Loners. Bestial package is completely here, so you can't really play Bestial hand trap though, because there's like no hand traps almost. We do have the full Azamina package, including Wanted, Diabellstar, and Deception with all the Azamina extra deck monsters. This is a very generic, easy package to throw into about anything. So if you have Azamina, you could definitely experiment with just throwing this package in any deck, basically. Well, almost any deck that you're playing in this category. One thing that's interesting on the staple side is that they have a lot more staple boss monsters on the Dark and Water. So with Super Poly, you can run Garura, Mud Dragon. You've got Typhon, which is decent in grind games. IP plus SP obviously can be thrown into just about anything. And another deck that's going to be really good and barely hit is Yubel, where Phantom of Yubel's at 1, so that's a solid pick as well. And as for Wind and Fire, thankfully no Tenpai. Wind and Fire don't have as big of a variety of good decks, I would say. They still have some really strong ones, like I think Fire King is definitely going to be one of the best ones in the event. You can play Snake Eyes Fire King without Diabellstar, so that's obviously going to be crazy. Rescue Ace is great. Liralusk might be good. Speedroid is full power. But on the hand trap side, actually, Wind and Fire surprisingly has the best lineup of staples, I would say. You've got Droll, you've got Ash Blossom, Ghost Mourner. You're the only deck that basically has Max C, because you have Fuelos, and Max C is banned in this event for the Light and Earth category. You have the One of Unicorn, which is a decent card you can throw into just about anything. You don't really get a good Dominus card for Wind and Fire. Well, I guess in a Fire deck, you could technically run Dominus Impulse. Maybe I'll throw this in here just in case. I mean, you could run it. But yeah, overall, it seems like all the categories have really good pros and cons, so that's great. That being said, we've got a lot of decks to cover, so let's just get into the replays. So starting off here, I don't actually have a replay for this one, so I just wanted to include it for those that want to play it. Fire King Snake Eyes is definitely looking like a really good option, and I have this list that was submitted by Pkmntraynor. Trainer is really, really good at deck building. This list looks really clean, so it will be linked in the description along with the majority of decks, if not all decks shown in this video. So if you guys want to copy any lists, just make sure to check out the links in the description. As for this one, I mean, it basically plays like pure Fire King for the most part, especially since you don't have the Evolsaur, and pure Fire King is awesome. I might even try this because I really like pure Fire King. So yeah, we're gonna move on, but I just wanted to show the list. Next up here, we have one coming in from Mazinger, and don't worry, it wouldn't be a what should Maz play without a couple of Maz replays. We've got 3 from Maz for this video, and they all look very interesting. This one's maybe my favorite that he submitted. It's a 50 card deck. It's a blend of Union as well as the Primite engine, which makes a lot of sense. You're already forced to run a normal monster within the deck anyway, which means that if you go for the Primite engine, you can set up like a Primite Roar, and Roar can summon out your X-Head Cannon, which you can potentially use for certain plays. And then Primite Roar is also just a solid interruption during your opponent's turn. If they normal summon a monster, you can banish this card from your grave, target a normal monster you control or in your graveyard, and banish one monster from the field with less attack than that monster. So it's just a cute little interruption of any monster basically that's normal summoned with less than 1800 attack, which is most normal summons, right? But with that being said, we're just going to go ahead and check out the replay. You can obviously copy this list as well by clicking the link in the description. All the lists are going to be linked in there. But let's see. Maz always pulling up with the fire ass replays. Let's give it a look. Okay, so for the hand we have Activation, Zillion Tank, and Roar. Okay, cool. So we're starting off with Roar. This is what I was curious about. So summoning out the X-Head Cannon, get to go for Union activation, sending B Buster, adding the White Dragon Yearhead. Go into a Union controller by tagging out. We get to grab our Union Hanger. Controller can summon out the Z-Tank from the hand. We can grab our Yare Head, put it in the back row, summon out the Yearhead. We search a solid card with the field spell, set up the Union Driver with the field spell. Banish Union Driver, set up Tortune Gear, summon Tortune Gear, use Tortune Gear plus our controller to make a Ancient Fairy Dragon, grab a Disc Coliseum, grab a Regulus, special out the B Buster Drake plus our other dude. We can go into Moon of the Closed Heaven. We do have access to a small Fiendsmith engine within this event, so go into Requiem, summon out the Engraver plus our Ancient Fairy Dragon, make Sequence, shuffle back 3, summon Desiree, and we can link away into Silhouette Rabbit. Sea Crush Wyvern, summon out the A Assault Core, equip the Zillion Tank, summon Zillion Tank, get the X-Head Cannon in the back row, just to make sure we have our interruption during opponent's turn with the Primite Roar, get to go into a Ptolemaeus. So we have a double Omni Negate here that we'll be able to set up by equipping the Feedsmith Sequence. We already have an Omni Negate here. We'll have Azurune. This is already really good interruption. Ptolemaeus can go into Nova and then tag into Infinity, which is another Omni Negate. Get to banish 3 to summon the ABC Dragon Buster, equip our Sequence, and there we go. I mean, this is like a really strong setup. Pretty sure it's possible to also set up the XYZ Hyper Dragon Cannon within this deck, but this is still just like, this board is insane, right? The amount of interruption. Now, the weaknesses of this deck don't just disappear, but I will say the Primite stuff looks really promising, really interesting. So our opponent goes for Ultimate Slayer here. We're going to activate Azurune just to get that out as an interruption. They're going to go for Entis on the Azurune and activate the Hornet Drones, go into a Kagari. Kagari is going to add back the Hornet Drones. We're going to negate the Kagari here with Infinity and destroy it. They're going to summon out the Fadra. Oh my god, we're beating Tenpai. That's really crazy. We can just go for Dragon Buster to pop the Fadra here, and they're just going to scoop it up. Wow, we destroyed Tenpai with friggin' Event Union. That's amazing. Great replay. Really interesting deck. Yeah, nothing else to say really. That's just awesome. All right, and next up here, I have a tendency to avoid these more like trap heavy decks, but I know a lot of people that play these events also like trap decks, so I'm trying to force myself to include them more. So we have True Draco, very strong budget option for the event. There's basically no URs in this deck other than the Solemn cards, but if you don't have them, you can replace them easily with other lower rarity counter traps, and there's also like the True Draco counter trap which you could run. So yeah, this is like a really solid budget option for sure. And overall the deck, I mean, I don't know, I don't know anything about True Draco. It looks great. Malshina, all right, that's the name I forgot to mention, sorry. All right, so here we go. Pot of Duality, reveal 3. Got one of your 6. Okay, you don't even care about that. Okay, set trap, tribute summon Ignis, activate Heritage, set a couple of cards, and just pass turn. Okay. Our opponent is playing Dinomorphia. You'll have to see it. We're also going to show this deck in this video. Look, I'm trying to be more open to trap people, okay? So anyway, Apocalypse pops so that we can remove one of the back rows on the field here. Makes a lot of sense. Grab the... Okay, draw into Solemn Strike is good. Go for Disciples. Activate the Apocalypse. Pop Disciples to pop a back row. Swing over the Theresia. And we're just going to set the Solemn Strike. Interesting that nothing was activated there. Okay, so our opponent's going for Diplos. We're going to go True Draco Slayer to set up Heritage. Go Apocalypse to pop the Heritage. They're going to go for Trap Trick to set up the Domain. We're going to get the Heritage effect to pop another back row. Oh my god, this is the most interesting matchup that you could have went for a trap deck. Amazing. We're going to go Crackdown. Okay, yeah, going to Pkmntraynor. Here we go. Here we go. Disciples to get a draw. They're going to do that. We're going to crack down. Grab Pkmntraynor. Very good. Rex Term hits the board. Solid. Solid card. We draw into Solemn Judgment. Our back row is full. We need to clear some space. Going to go for Solemn Strike in response to Rex Term. And then we can go for Apocalypse to pop. They're going to go for Ferret Flames, clearing our board of monsters, which I guess is not that big a deal in this kind of matchup, right? So far, we pretty much have the upper hand, I would say. They're going to go for Theresia to set up Intact to go to battle. We can go for True Draco Apocalypse, pop Disciples to pop the back row again. You know, they get a little bit of damage in, but nothing too crazy. And at this point, do we even have any grind? Like, what do we even do? We just kind of don't, huh? We're just kind of stuck here. Okay. That's awesome. Solemn gets set. So you just need, okay, Apophis is a card. That's a card for sure. That's one of the cards I've ever seen. Our opponent, yeah, doing a little more swings. Okay, cool. Set another card. Can we do something, or is this we're just gonna do a Apophis? No. Okay. We drew diagram. Lucky us, because we only have 6 bodies and we needed one of them. They're gonna go for Solemn Judgment. We're gonna chain our own. And they're going to go for a Trap Trick, and we're just going to summon Apophis to be able to Omni-negate everything. They can dodge the damage here using one of their traps in the grave, summon out Theresia. Oh my god, bro. Why did you guys send me this replay, bro? Why, bro? Okay, I get it. Yes, Diplos. Fucking, sorry. Diplos summon. We're going to go Ignis. Set up Heritage. Get a little bit of burn. Wow, this is a tight duel. This is tight. This is awesome. Yeah, dodge the damage. Very cool. Theresia, do a little bit of float. Yes, Diplos. Awesome. It's over? Is it over? Yes. That was Dinomorphia. Okay, I need a bit of a palate cleanser. We've got Speedroid coming in from Quiet Elite. You know, this deck is full power, but you could definitely run more hand traps, I would say, in this. But overall, looks like a deck that's going to be solid and not True Draco. Let's check out the replay, guys. Let's give it a spin. Okay, so here we go. We've got a hand. Oh, this is just Unico. Okay, we're gonna go Called By on Ash. They're gonna go for Fua. We're gonna Ash Fua, even though they would only get 1 draw from our Unicorn summon. Cool. Unicorn, grab Birth. Oh, no, I guess we can summon Droll. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, no, you're cooking. My bad. My bad, bro. I was being judgmental. That's fire. Going to Rubber Band here, using the Unicorn and a Droll to get into your Speedroid plays. Summon the double yo-yo, bring back Terratops, search Takatomborg. This is fire. This is super sick. Okay, Takatomborg, summon the dice, go into Cork Shooter effect, bring back the 2 here. We can go for our dice effect to go into a Higoita. Then using Higoita plus our Speedroid Cork Shooter, we can go into Baron, summon out the Unicorn from the grave. So we're just passing on Baron, Unicorn, Imperm here. Nothing too crazy, but in a lower power format like an event, I guess it's fine. We get to go for Unicorn here at least and look at our opponent's extra deck. We're getting rid of Trident and they're going into Typhon. What the heck is this game? We're going to go Imperm on the... What the heck are we doing here? All right, they're going to go for Gold Sarcophagus, banishing... What the... Why did they ban... Oh, we could... okay. Sure. Okay, Rubber Band, banish, you know, add the Ultra Hound, summon the Ultra Hound, go for Den in the grave, banish, summon out the dice target, go into a Cork Shooter, yet again, Cork Shooter, bring back the Red-Eye Dice, and this guy right here. We can go into a Clearwing, Synchro Dragon, get our effect here in the grave. They're going to go for DD Crow, banish, that's fine, we get a Unicorn effect again. We're going to negate our own Unicorn to boost our attack, for real? That's kind of hype. That's kind of hype. Just to clear and then go for game. Does it get lethal? Bro, you still missed lethal. Okay, I don't know if negating that unicorn was worth it then, but I guess you needed a way to out the Typhon. Cool. So we got a purge and a monster negate. That's all right. Get a purge effect here. Get to go unicorn again. You know, we're just slowly emptying out the extra. Oh my god, they had the one of Kaimen. Okay, we get the birth to banish a couple of things. That shouldn't really matter here if they summon the Fadra, right? Like, yeah, clear. Get the effect here. Unfortunately, okay, going for Black Rose, but we have a negate for Black Rose, so it doesn't really do any. Okay, sure. All right. Here's another interesting one coming in from Mazinger. This is Primite Sharks. So yeah, we got 7-colored fish. That's my boy, one of my favorite cards of all time in this deck. I don't know anything about sharks. But I do know a bit about Goaty though. We're just gonna play this one. I don't really want to talk about the list too much, but I'm sure it's gonna be really sick. And yeah, as per every other deck, it's gonna be linked in the description. Let's just give it a spin. Okay, this hand is kind of like super broken. Let's start with 1 for 1, discarding one of our Keef here. They're gonna go for Fua. Oh, we gotta play into Fua. Let's see. Okay, we're just gonna accept the challenge here. Send the Shift. Banish Shift, summon Big Jaws. They're going to go for Valor on Big Jaws. I guess we can also into Fua just kind of play Goaty on opponent's turn, right? We're still going to go for a Dweller here, which I think makes a lot of sense, into a Fuelos, just to get like a nice, you know, blanket negate on the field. We can just hold Abyss Dweller for as long as we need to. Our opponent is going to go for Loady Load. We don't like that. Summon out the Blue Eyes, so they can go for Drill Beam at any given moment. We're going to go for Imperm on Spirit. And then we get our Shift effect to go into Arion Post. Arion Post can banish, and we get the effect of our banished monster to special summon the 6. Add the Zep, banish Zep, summon. Get to go for Zep to Synchro into Askan. Get the effect of... Well, you know, deck looks good. All right, here's an interesting one coming in from Kenny that I didn't even consider. Exosister. And wow, we can actually run 7th Tachyon in this deck. I never even considered that. Yeah, Exosister. Wow, we're running 7th Ascension and 7th Tachyon. Like, we refuse to brick. With 3 Imperm, 3 Valor, 3 Ghost Ogre, 3 Dominus Purge. Man, I gotta say, Kenny, whenever he submits a deck, it's always a really clean looking list. This is no exception. The list looks really, really good. You know, like just so many 3-ofs. It's just like only the essentials, and you run 3 of them, you know what I mean? So really cool list. Let's just check out the replay. This looks super clean though. A really solid deck if you have Exosister. All right, and the hand of course is looking amazing here. We've got Martha, Sakitama, Pax. We've got 7th Tachyon here, so we can reveal to search. They're gonna go for Purge on our 7th Tachyon. I don't think we're too mad about that. We're also not too mad about the XC's lock, because that's all we do with this deck anyway. Go for Caspitel, detach Sakitama, search Sophia. We can go Sophia, draw, into a Ghost Ogre. That's pretty good. Go for Michaelis, search Returnia. Use these 2 to go into a Magnifica. Set Returnia, set Pax, and just pass turn. This is the nice classic mid-range gameplay that you expect from this deck here. Imperm, starting off with Imperm on this card is really strong here. They're going to go for Planet Path, but what the hell? Dice Dungeon, based. We're gonna go for Exosister Pax here to grab an Irene and special summon it after they summon from grave, so that we get our Irene effect to make a Michaelis on opponent's turn. Very clean. And then they're gonna go for a Fiendsmith Requiem, summon Engraver, get the Requiem effect in the grave. We're gonna banish that Engraver now. They're gonna go for Dice Dungeon. I said search Dimension Dice and not do anything with it. Okay, about what I expected from that deck, to be honest. 7th Tachyon here. We can search for Martha, shuffle back the Elis, and now we're going to go for Martha, and they're just going to scoop it up. That's a good deck. Mid-rangey, but the list is super clean. I think if you're playing this, you're probably going to do amazing in the event, actually. And you know what? Let me double dip here, because Kenny actually submitted 2 lists, and I wanted to include both of them. This one here is Adventure Phantom Knights, which you don't have Griffin, so I'm not even sure what your pay... Oh, I guess it's Illegal Knight, which is a good payoff, you know. Not as good as Griffin, but Illegal Knight is still a really, really strong card. So yeah. I mean, it's pretty classic, right? 3 Fusion Destiny. You're playing the Phantom Knight stuff. You got Verte in the deck as well, and Adventure. This kind of a blast from the past, low key, which is really weird to say for a deck like this, with Horus Engine a little bit in there too. Looks interesting, man. Let's check it out. Okay, so the hand is Torn Scale, Silent Boots. We've got our Himseti, discarding Malicious, which is super broken. So we can go King Sarcophagus here, activate the Fateful Adventure, special out the Himseti to trigger a Fateful Adventure to grab a Draco back. Then we can activate Malicious in the grave, banish itself to summon Malicious, go for King Sarcophagus, discard our equip spell to summon a Horus from the grave here, and go for Zombie Vampire, mill a couple of cards, summon from our grave. We can go for Water Enchantress here, get our Rite of Aramasir, amazing. Cherubini here to send for cost, and then we can set up our trap here to summon and go into Rusty Bardiche. Rusty Bardiche, send the boots, set up the Phantom Knight's Fogblade, banish to send another trap here, summon out the Torn Scales, banish to summon from the grave the I forgot his name. Sorry. Let's summon Phantom Knights of Breaksword, pop it to trigger his effect, and special summon 2 from the grave. And we can go into an Pkmntraynor. Use these 2 over here to go into a Verte Anaconda. Activate Fateful Adventure to search a Water Enchantress and discard it. Trigger our Torn Scales. Our boots in the grave to grab another Fogblade. Banish to search a Greaves. Go for pay 2,000, summon DPE here. So we've got 2 Fogblades, DPE, and Pkmntraynor. You really can't go wrong with that setup. We get DD Crowed here, which doesn't do anything. They go for Red Eye's Insight, which is really based. They activate Red Eye's Fusion, which is really based. They summon Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. Dragoon versus DPE is really sick. Unfortunately, we have a bit more than just that here. But we do get to pop the IP, and of course the DPE tries to dodge here, but they do have the call by for the DPE. They're going to go for their second pop on Dragoon, and we're going to go for Fogblade to negate him. They're going to negate our Fogblade. Somehow we survive this turn. This one Dragoon put in insane work, actually. Yo, maybe you could play this in the event. Just play like Red Eyes, like, Dragoon control. That could actually be an idea. All right, so anyway, we're going to go for Breaksword here since we made it to turn 3. And we have a lot of gas set up at this point. I feel like this is probably unlosable. Go for a Raiders Knight. Raiders Knight detached. They're going to negate with the Dragoon, but we had Droplet, which is probably winning here. Go into Arc Rebellion, which is going to gain a ton of attack. And we get to banish the Fogblade, summon the Breaksword, and then we get to go for Torn Scales, go to battle, swing, big damage, clean it up. Really good replay, by the way. Really weird replay. That Dragoon control turn was very interesting, but yeah, looks really good, of course. All right, so here another one that I didn't even consider for the light event is Galaxy Eyes, right, coming in from Dinochief. We also have the Tachyon package available, which is a really solid package. Like, dude, you get to set up double Tachyon transmigration, which is broken. I might even try playing the Tachyon engine in the event. Maybe not in Galaxy Eyes. I'll see if there's another way I can do it because I don't have this deck. Although I guess now there's a structure. I could probably build it. Either way, looks like a really good pick. I really didn't consider this at all, but like Tachyon Transmigration is super broken. Let's check out the replay though. Okay, so we've got Ghost Bell, we got Delta Wing, Cleric, Galaxy Eyes 100, and Cold By. Going second against Reptiles. Okay, interesting. So they're going for Ogdoadic something, summoning Lamia to search something. They're going to go into King of the Feral Imps, which can search a reptile. The reptile they search is called Reptilian Codal, which I definitely know what it does. They're going to go into Haggard. Haggard does something, aka draw a card. Now they're going to go for Ogdoadic spell card that does something, but we're going to go spell that something that it does. Now they're going to send a card to the graveyard and summon it from the grave, and that card is this one right here. Now they're going to go for Evil Dragon Ananta. What? Isn't this card just attack points? This card's attack/defense becomes the number of monsters banished for special summons times 600. Once per turn during your end phase, you can pop a card on the field. Awesome. Okay, we're going to draw. Go Galaxy 100, send the Photon Jumper. They're going to go Ogdoadic something, send something, and we get to go for Galaxy Trance here, pay 2,000 life points, summon 2 monsters. They're going to go for Offering to the Snake Deity, pop a couple of cards. We're going to go for Photon Delta Wing, summon something. Go into Galaxy Eyes, Photon Dragon, just Galaxy Photon, my bad. Go for Galaxy Soldier, discard, special summon, search. Get to go for Photon, change this level to level 4. We get to grab a Tachyon Primal. Go for Star Leech, activate Tachyon Primal, grab grab the 7th Tachyon. 7th Tachyon, reveal and search a Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, shuffling back a Galaxy Cleric, go for Afterglow Special Summon, go into a Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon, go into Neo Prime Photon Dragon, and we get to boost, and we get to just do massive damage, but they're going to go for Daybreak and summon a couple of tokens, and we're going to swing into them. And what? Sorry, I got jump scared by Gad. That was a funny ass replay. All right, this next one here is coming in from Grave, and it's Raidraptor. Let's just throw another one in for the darks. You know, Raidraptor, kind of like a pseudo, not really an FTK, but like a pseudo FTK with the stuff they set up. You know, I don't know a crazy amount about Raidraptor. Like, I played them a bit, but I'm not gonna lie, I forgot a lot about their general game plan. Just looking at this list, I'm like confused about a couple of picks, so hopefully they get explained to me when we actually watch the thing. So let's just check out the replay. Okay, so we've got Noir Lanius, Bloom Vulture, Called By, and we've got our Phantom Knights rank up here. So start off with the Bloom Vulture, and we get hit with a Fua. Thankfully, we had the Called By. Let's see how much we can keep up with this. I feel like I still remember a good chunk, right? We go for Raider's Knight. Raider's Knight detached to search, to go into a Brave Strix, my bad. Already a mistake. Brave Strix, search the Skip Force. I remembered that. Skip Force to rank up into Arsenal Falcon. Arsenal Falcon can then detach to summon from the deck the Tribute Lanius, sent to the grave. The Mimicry, banish to search the Raidraptor Boost. Raidraptor Boost, summon out the Noir Lanius, targeting our Lanius here to whatever. Go into a Wise Tricks, trigger the graveyard effect of Arsenal Falcon to summon from our extra deck the Ultimate Falcon and attach a material to it. Summon out the Raider's Wing from the deck, get our Rise or rank up magic, go into a Force Tricks. Force Tricks attach to summon from, to search, and then we can special summon the Strange Lanius. Strange Lanius, target in the grave to special summon, then we can banish our Noir Lanius to change our levels and summon Cherubini. That's actually really interesting. So that's where Lilith comes in. Okay, interesting. Shuffling back a couple of cards here to draw into Imperm, go into... No way. No way. No way. That we're summoning Muckraker to special Lilith to then... What? Tribute it, reveal 3 normal traps. Nightmare Archfiends. Tribute 1 monster, special summon 3 Nightmare Archfiend tokens to your opponent's field in attack position. Each time one is destroyed, its controller takes 800 damage. Okay. So set that. And they have 2000 attack. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a really bad feeling about this. What's going on? They're going to go for Dark Blade here. Targeting our Rise rank up magic. We're going to go for Nightmare Archfiends, tributing our Muckraker, and we're going to chain the rank up magic, targeting our Force Tricks. So we're going to go, yeah, for Rising Rebellion Falcon, attaching the Force Tricks as material, as well as the other guys from the grave. They get their 3 tokens. Okay. We get the wipe here. Hold on. Inflict damage to your opponent equal to the combined original attack of the destroyed monsters. Alright, so we do have a really good FTK deck, actually. Okay, and let's close it out with a final Mazinger replay. And this is an interesting one. It is Snake-Eye's Evolsaur. We showcased a deck like this a while back. You actually can use the Snake-Eyes cards to set up the Mega Corella, which can get you into a nice setup for your Leos, which can then set up the Evo Singularity to set up the 2 Omni-Negate Lars on opponent's turn. It's actually really solid. So, yeah, I feel like this should be pretty much working with no problem for this event. We're also running the Terratop attack at Tomborg. I think just to, if we see it, we can make an early Totem Bird to negate Imperm, or an early Bamboozling Gossip Shadow as a Nibiru negate. So totally respectable there. Yeah, the list looks really interesting, and I think this is a good way to end it. Also, just want to point out, for those that missed the video announcement, I am doing a subathon that is starting this Friday evening, and that's where we're going to be playing this event, right? So guys, just make sure to tune in for the subathon. Even if you can't support, you know, you can at least share it with your grandma or something and come drop a like on this stream. But with that being said, let's check out this last replay here. This looking like a good one. So we got Leos in hand, we got Mega Corella, we got our field spell, and we got talents. Field spell set up, of course, the Snake-Eyes, the Evolsaur, and we're going to go for Mega Corella, tribute itself, as well as our Flamberge in hand to summon Leos from the deck and set up Evo Singularity. Leos can send Misk to the grave. Misk can banish itself to summon a Jurak Aeolo. And then we can go for Diabel to put back the Flamberge and summon itself. Aeolo plus the Evolsaur to go into Pin Knight early, which is interesting. They're going to go for Phantasmate. Why did they summon Phantasmate in front of early? That's so random. Anyway, okay, we're going to go and summon our Flamberge. They just gave it to us for some reason. Thank you. Now we can go for Talents. Look at our opponent's hand. What the hell? That was all spells. All right, Flamberge here targeting the Phantasmate. They're going to chain Phantasmate, which means we get to chain early. Why did you summon it there? Why did you do that? Well, you had every other zone. Anyway. So anyway, we're gonna, you know, put it in the back row because we negated it with early, obviously. Now we get to go into Promethean Princess, you know, summon 2 level 1 fires, which is Aeolo and Mega Corella. Set up, yeah, we didn't get to set up everything. All you gotta know is our Promethean Princess was set up in the grave. During opponent's turn, we could go Evo Singularity in order to summon out our Evolsaur. And yeah, we basically had all the setup that we needed. We could also make Appaloosa here using our Pit Knight early and our 2 other monsters on the field. So really solid board, good combo. Why did they summon Phantasme there? As for me, I'm probably going to be playing Blue Eyes in the event, and I think my list is really good. I cooked it up myself. Thank you. I did it myself. No hands. Crimson Dragon is still playable if you see Kaiser Seahorse, because you can special summon it while you control Blue Eyes, and then, you know, you can go straight into the Crimson Dragon. You can search your Synchro Rumble, so you still have access to this line. It's just a lot harder to get to because you only have 1 copy of Spirit Dragon. So yeah, it's like, look, man, I think it still looks really good. I still think it's going to be the best deck in the event, to be honest with you, and I love Blue Eyes. I think it's a lot of fun. Also, I'm running more Ghost Spells because I don't have Maxi. I'm replacing Maxi with Ghost Spell. You know, that's what it is. But anyway, if you want to see that in action, you're gonna have to check out the subathon. That's gonna be this Friday, so do tune in. Please tune in, check it out. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, and we're also gonna be playing Berserker Kazan after that. So with that being said, I need to go edit this video. It's actually going to be a bit later. Usually I try to post these videos before the event starts, but this time around I think it's going to be a little bit after, unfortunately. I kind of skipped on my alarm, I'm not going to lie. Anyway, okay, thank you. See ya.